name is Laura and welcome to my channel Boundless Books. A lot of great books came out in 2015, so today I thought I'd look back and go over my top 10 books that came out in the year 2015. So let's get started. First up is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Shwab. So this was actually the first book by V.E. Shwab that I've ever read. I know that Vicious was going around and everyone raves about that book, but I actually never read it, so this was my first introduction to her as an author. This book takes place in an alternate version of 18th century London and follows a young magician named Cal who has the very rare ability of being able to travel between alternate versions of London. Cal is from a version of London named which he calls Red London, and in Red London magic flourishes. There is also Grey London, our mundane version of London. There is White London, where magic has basically starved all the people and sort of decimated the land. And then there is Black London, which is mysterious and locked from all travelers. I like anything that has time travel and alternate universes, so this was really right up my alley. There's going to be another book coming out in 2016, so I'm really excited to see where the series goes next. Next up is The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. So I've already talked about how much I love the Bone Season series by Samantha Shannon, and this is the second installment in that series. And this book is just as awesome as the first, if not better. This series follows a woman named Paige Mahoney, and she also lives in an alternate version of London, except this is an alternate future version of London. There are clairvoyants and people who have the ability to communicate with spirits, and Paige Mahoney is no exception. She has the ability to basically astral project and enter the consciousness of other people. And in the first novel, Paige was incarcerated in a penal colony, and in this next novel, The Mime Order, she escapes and is back in London and meets up with the rest of her gang. And I thought this book was really interesting because Samantha Shannon really delves more into the gang structure and the sort of underworld politics of London. I'm very excited to see where this series goes next. I think there's going to be 7 books in total, so this is only number 2, so there's still a while to wait, but I'm very optimistic and I can't wait until the next book comes out. Next up is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This book takes place in an empire called the Martial Empire and follows 2 different narrative perspectives. The first is Elias. He appears to be a dedicated soldier who is, gung-ho for the cause. However, internally, he struggles with a lot of the tyranny that the empire is enacting on the people. The other portion of the narrative follows a young woman named Laya, who is forced to become a spy for the rebels after disaster befalls her family. So in this first novel, the 2 characters actually never meet, but a lot of the stage is set for the next novel, which will be coming out in 2016. Number 4 on my top 10 list of 2015 is The Court of Throne and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I really like Sarah J. Maas's books. I particularly enjoy her Throne of Glass series, although I think the latest installment was not my favorite, which is probably a very controversial view. However, I did like this other book series that she started in 2015. This book is an alternate retelling of the Beauty and the Beast story. I know that's been done many times, but I really enjoy Sarah J. Maas's take on this and her writing style in general. This follows a young woman named Fay Ray, and she is the protector of her family, and one day while she is out hunting, she accidentally kills a wolf to protect herself. And as a result of this, she is banished to the land of the fairy and is forced to dwell on the estate of this ancient fairy named Tamlin. I really enjoyed this book by Sarah J. Maas. Her writing style is really nice. I am a little nervous that maybe she'll throw a wrench in the whole situation, similar to how the second book of The Throne of Glass went. But this first book was so enjoyable that I'm still excited for the next one to come out. I definitely think you should check it out. Next on the list is The Orphan Queen by Jodi Meadows. And this story follows a young woman named Will, who is a queen living in exile. And Will, along with a band of ragtag orphan nobility, are determined... Ragtag! She is attempting to infiltrate the capital and bring down the government that has oppressed her people. Will is a really spunky character. There are lots of daring night escapes, espionage, lurking in the shadows and cool acrobatics, and I just thought the book had a really great momentum to it. Continuing on with the theme of espionage, the next book on the list is Rook by Sharon Cameron. And this book is inspired by the Scarlet Pimpernel and takes place actually in a future version of Paris that has been destroyed by some cataclysmic event. And as a result, a lot of the society has kind of regressed to sort of an 18th century France. Similar to the events of the French Revolution, those in opposition to the new revolution in this future version of Paris are being hunted down and killed by the revolutionists. However, certain individuals are being saved by this mysterious character called the Rook, who leaves only a feather in his wake. Even though I think that the dystopian genre has been a little exhausted in 2015, I thought The Rook was still a very enjoyable book, and I love the fact that it's been influenced by the French Revolution, so I would definitely recommend picking this one up. Next up on the list is The Season of Lightning by Kate Avery Ellison, and this book also features a mysterious savior of the oppressed. Except that instead of taking place in Paris, this takes place in a fantasy world that is very much inspired by antebellum South. This story follows a young woman named Elise, terrible name, who is the daughter of a general and plantation owner, and her life is sort of shaken up when this mysterious vigilante called the Hawk appears and starts causing trouble amongst all the plantation owners. I really like the world that Kate Avery Ellison creates in this book. I actually think that it's a continuation of the world that she created in some of her other books, which I thought was really interesting. So if you've read other things that she's written, you'll kind of get these interesting nods towards the different lands that are mentioned in those other books. I thought this book was really enjoyable. My one complaint is that it was actually too short. I kind of wanted it to go on for a little bit longer. I really came to care about the characters and their plotline, and when it ended, I was pretty sad that it was over. I don't know if there's any sequels planned, but I will definitely pick them up if she does write them. The last 3 books on the list are Winter's Crime by Maria Rutkoski, Awakens by Elise Kova, and Vengeance Road by Erin Bowman. I already covered these books in my previous videos, so I'll include a link down below where you can check out those videos and see my longer description of each of these. But they're all really excellent books, and I highly recommend them. I'll also include links below to Goodreads where you can go and check those books out and read a little bit more about them. So there it is, those are my top 10 books of 2015. In my next video, I'm actually gonna do a review of just the book Passenger by Alexander Bracken. This came out earlier in the week and I'm about halfway through, so I'm pretty excited to do a dedicated review for just that book. So definitely subscribe if you're interested in checking that out. And until next time, my name is Laura and thanks for watching. Bye! Okay, I didn't have to do that one 1,000 times. Okay.
You still really liked it.
I still really liked it because I really like everything.